Naive Humbleness Podcast with Christian No Index Ola. So, welcome to the NH Podcast. This is episode 0, and in this episode I'm going to talk about what is NH podcasts in general. And as you're hearing, I'm not a native speaker. I'm from Germany, and if I had bad grammar or wrong pronunciation, I'm sorry, but I hope that you understand me, first of all. So why I do this NH podcast, or NH in general? Well, NH, Naive Humbleness, is like a self-therapy to me, because I'm a very discreet artist, and in like further episodes I'll let you know why, because it has something to do with the topic of biting and keeping it real and blah 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 blah. So I became a very discreet artist in general and a person, and I want to change that. I want to let the world know about my plans. I want you guys know about my plans, and I hope get a positive feedback or even negative feedback, like critique that I can work on, and hopefully get to my goals very soon. And I just figured out that if you don't let the universe know that, chances are even lower that you're gonna make it. To the topics of the NH podcasts, they're gonna include some hip-hop topics or some topics about being an artist in general, because the last 5 years I've lived the life of a b-boy and of an artist in general, of an upcoming voice actor. I aspire to be a voice actor, a dancer, and a writer, which you can see in the vlogs I will do as well. And I will share my thoughts, my opinions, my experiences I had. The last 5 years, for example, I was, a lot on my own, or with me, if you want to say it like this. Like 85% of a day I'm on my own, and like there for my craft, for my dance, for my voice acting, for my goals, And so in those 5 years, I was really digging deep, not just in, sampling or music or breaking or voice acting, but really into myself, and figured out what I like and what I don't like, and who I want to be or who I am already. I'm going to bring this all up, as well as the biting topic, in, further episodes. So from here on now, I just hope, all the haters hate, all the lovers love, share if you want to. You don't have to, if you gave it a listen till here and you get along with this weird German accent, thank you so much. And well, let's start. And the next one is episode 1. Enjoy. Naive Humbleness Podcast with Christian No Index Ola. Welcome to the very first NH podcast. Today with the topic, what are NH sessions and why do I do them? This is easily explained in like 4 or 5 or 3 topics. Topic number 1 is probably the most selfish reason there is. I do it for me. Yes, I do it for me and my art and how I want to move and how I feel, to those specific kind of songs. I can't deny that this movement that I do right there is influenced by breaking, since this is the dance I really learned, from a teacher, coach, mentor, whatever, crewmates, and I've never learned any other dance styles. So, of course, it's mainly influenced by breaking. And also, I always wanted to have like a solo show where I dance, write, talk, like do poetry or something like this, and also play the piano. And I hope for further editions of the NH sessions that I will be able to transform my piano tracks that I've already finished composing, so I will record them and, hopefully dance on them one day, but this will probably not happen in 2018 while I record this. And then also a big topic is aging with breaking. Who knows 10 years from now, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to break, and how I'm going to look like, and if I'm going to be that good in shape, just like right now. Because right now I feel like in very good shape. I don't think that I'm in my prime in breaking or in moving, but I have no pain, and I really feel good, and I'm really like this kind of b-boy who doesn't need a big warm-up and can still go full out. Like, I'm a cold starter. If this is an advantage or disadvantage, I don't know yet, but for sure time will tell. And also, in 10 years from now, I don't know, I hope to be a successful writer, voice actor, and of course, dancer. But you just never know how good your skill is gonna be, or if you're gonna be better or like worse. I just don't know. So I just want to record this right now for me, and for other people, if they like it, that's cool, get inspired, that's cool. If they try to copy it, even not better, but also cool, because I really believe, and this is going to come up in some further episodes about originality, that even if you want to copy those moves and you copy those moves, it will not look as good as I would do them. It will look like your way, but not my way. And, well, long story short, if you want to bite it, go ahead. I won't be mad or something, So, very easy. Selfish reason, I do it for me, to be able to look at it 5 years from now or 10 years from now. Yeah, and I do it for the love of movements and to the love of those songs, because they're, let's be honest, not typically like music to break on or whatever, But NH sessions, I don't define this as breaking or contemporary. I just want to move the way I move to those songs, and that's it. And I hope you have now a better understanding of what those NH sessions are about. Thank you for listening. And the next episode is going to be called Respect the Elders. I hope you're going to tune in. Thank you guys for listening. Be naive, but stay humble. Peace. Naive Humbleness Podcast with Christian No Index Ola. Welcome to the second edition of NH Podcasts. Today with the topic Respect the Elders. Something that is very, very important to me, I will really reflect this onto my dance, but really especially into NH sessions. Because first of all, I just have to say, those NH sessions are not like a new invented concept that a b-boy breaks to something else, Like I know that Mano and a lot of other b-boys practice to jazz, free jazz, to a lot of other music, and as far as for the NH sessions, I know that my body moves that way and nobody else will move like this, but there's already like so many great genius ex b-boys or still b-boys who move just geniusly, and who just really break the borders, break the limits. We see it in today's in the breaking scene, but we see it also in like sports like tricking or other dance styles in general. I just want to mention some names right now. For example, a big inspiration, big times for me is the German homie. I've never met him, but I hope that I will meet him soon. Is Rubberlegs. This guy is without a doubt one of the best to do it. Even when people would consider him circus style, but to be honest, he doesn't give a and that's just great because he just got better and better and better and better in that. And and also his crew, Terror Bunch, and also the enemies, if you want to call them like that, like their rivals, Freak Show. But then there's also great, guys like Cyber Yoga or Chirito that I had the pleasure to battle already in 2016 at Battle of Honor. This guy is just freestyling insanely, and he just really found his way of moving and how he wants to break and how he wants to dance, and then also like there's a lot of people who dance this experimental way, and I really not try to call my NH sessions experimental, but I know that a lot of people will put this into this drawer and say, this is experimental dance, Christian, what do you say? But I try to give the NH sessions not a name, not breaking, not experimental, I would just call it movements. And also if you think about movements, the name pops up immediately, Ido Portal. This guy teaches a lot around the world and is just a great influence and great inspiration when it comes to movements. And I really want to pay my respect to those people I look up to. It would be too much names to mention them all, but I just want you guys, if you really enjoy NH sessions, I want you guys to dig deeper and find out about all those guys like Rubberlegs, Freak Show, Terror Bunch, Cyber Yoga, Charito, Illusion of Exist, Fractal Collective. My brother Connie is in this collective. Ido Portal. Ah, man, there's so many great dancers and so many amazing ways to move. It will all come to that topic that I will talk later on, originality. Yeah, so this is I want you guys to respect the elders. I do it. You can still have your own opinions. Be naive, have your own opinions, but be humble enough to respect the elders. And I pay my respect to those dudes, and to the breaking scene, to every dancer worldwide. Let's just rock it. Let's just enjoy the art of movement, and yeah, that's it. You have to respect the elders. It's important. Be naive, but stay humble. See you next time in episode 3, where I will talk about originality equals creativity, ? Very interesting. Tune in, and peace. Naive Humbleness Podcast with Christian No Index Ola. Welcome to the 3rd edition of NH Podcasts. Today with the topic, originality equals creativity? In my opinion, it doesn't. But if you talk to a lot of, people who were successful or are successful, they would give you the advice to be original. But how to get there, I won't explain, or I don't even know if I can explain, but I won't explain it in this podcast. This will be something for later. So let's start off how I differentiate those two things. Because as I said, originality doesn't equal for me with creativity, or creativity doesn't equal to originality. So here we go. Let me be very quick with this, and I hope you guys understand. Originality for me is something which comes from the internal. It's like DNA, right? Like if you think about your brother or sister or mother or father, you probably have something in common with them. Like you look like them, or you walk like them, or you talk like them. There's a lot of similarities, right? Just like the DNA. Like we are a mixture of mother and father. We got some of their DNA, but there was also like a part where we created our own. And this is where the originality for me starts. It's really something that you can't deny, or have a very hard time denying it, if you discovered it. Because in today's society, we grow up a certain kind of way, and in my opinion, it doesn't support the way of getting to know who you are, because everything that we learn, all the information is super external and it's like super, which lead me now to creativity. Creativity for me is something external, right? So you receive information, and this wild thought process starts, whatever, and this is how you make stuff up. You reflect the things that come to you, like situations, experiences, smiles, like whatever, from the outside, right? So creativity comes from me from the outside, and you remix it wildly with some stuff you already know from the outside, or you just got to know, like you just remix it. And so we have now both parts, the internal part and the external part. If you go extreme in both ways, if you're just internal and you just try to be original, the chances are good that nobody will really understand you, because if you're just super original, you always have to explain yourself, but you can't really explain originality. It's just the way who you are. People, please accept this and accept yourself in a way. Not saying that you can't change. It's possible to change probably, but this is a very, 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 very long road. And but if you want to, just try and do it and change who you are, but it's going to be very tough. And so if you're just original all the time, the chances are very good people won't understand you, and this will lead that you can't communicate properly whatever you want to say, and at the end of the day, human beings are still social beings, so we have to get along with each other. If you're just super creative, there's almost the same problem, but you can explain it better, right? Because you can say like, oh, I took this idea from there and this idea from there, then I thought about it and, put it together. But now you would say, well, you thought about it, so you made this idea up. I agree, but for me, creativity is this, like, it's not very authentic. Something is missing, and what is missing is you, is your soul, your flavor, your heart in it, So a lot of just creative person have the same problem. The best way and the state to strive for, where you want to go, is this blurry transition part where originality and creativity meet each other, and have this blurry transition. This is the way we should go to and we should aim for, because this is also the way we don't have to explain ourselves so much, because people will just accept it and appreciate it or hate it, whatever, but they will hopefully understand. In order to get there, we should know both. You should know yourself, what you like, what you don't like, and you should know how you think and how you can come up with stuff and what you like. And, so we should combine those two to get into this blurry transition era. So, long story short, originality for me is internal and something that you can't deny or have a very hard time denying or hiding it, or hopefully you discovered it. Because if you never discovered it, man, that's sad, but a lot of people, have this problem. And creativity is something external, which is, I give both of those things, I give them props and my respect, because it's really hard to get there, I feel, and I don't think that I made my way there, but I think I'm in a good way, and my dance is just a proof for that, because I think that I get with my dance, I think that I get more and more into this state of this blurry transition that I just talked about. And so mad props to both of them, but I don't really feel the creative just creative people. I miss authenticity in there, and when there is just original people, I just don't get them, so there is a problem, and this is how I differentiate them. So originality doesn't equal creativity doesn't equal to originality. This is my opinion. Let me know what you think, if this was helpful for you, for whatever. But anyways, thank you guys for listening, for being curious. The next podcast, episode 4, is going to be about the goals of an artist, a very, very interesting one, again. And so there's not much left to say. Be naive, but stay humble. Peace. Naive Humbleness Podcast with Christian No Index Ola. Welcome to the 4th edition of the NH Podcast, today with the topic Goal of an Artist. And this is a very, very difficult topic for me, because I probably don't know my goal yet, and I'm not sure if I will ever know, but I can tell for sure we artists want to create. We want to express ourselves through creation. If you want to have a God complex, that we want to create something out of scratch, or we want to mix something so up that it looks totally new and refreshing, just to break the borders and limits, whatever there is. And if you're an artist, you have two ways, right? You can create for yourself, as I do it with playing the piano. Like, I just play the piano. If I hit the right chords and create something out of there, and I create a whole new tune, it's amazing, and it gives me something. It's joy, and I just feel good, man. And it was just a good time, if you want to call it, like, wasting, even though I don't make money out of this, or I don't show it to anybody. I don't know if I will show it. I guess I will soon, but you never know. Because I'm also not very satisfied with that, and I don't think it's professional enough. So this is also like a lot of reasons, and I know that a lot of artists feel like this too. And then you have the second option, where you create something for others, or at least you create something and show it to others, So you have consumers, spectators, receivers, audiences, however you want to call it, but you let people be a part of that. At least you let them consume it, let them witness it. And then the goal is that they react to it, right? So we try to bring up certain kind of emotion to the receivers, and we want to reach out. We want them to think, we want them to feel, we also want to steal their time so they can be entertained, right? Because if you're giving me your time right now as you're listening to this NH podcast, you're giving me your time and your attention, and you hope something to get out of this, right? And I hope you get something out of this too, but you will figure out that I will probably run in circles very, very soon in this topic. But so I'm right now the entertainer, and you're listening, and you hope to get something out of this. And I hope that you will get really something out of this, but I'm not sure. So, and then we entertain, and we want you to feel good, or we want you to learn something, or to think differently. Like, there are some goals that we have for our audience. We have a really purpose, like an intention that we want you guys to feel. But what's the goal of an artist besides what I just mentioned? If we go to the NH sessions, for example, I dance there for myself. I freestyle, and I want to get better in freestyle, and I want to create new moves. And I know that I have to go through a lot of repetitions, and you will see that some patterns will repeat for sure. And this is just something I have to deal with, because as an artist, it's very, very difficult in a way, because there is nothing right or wrong. That's also the beauty of art, and it can be super controversial. Like, don't get caught up on those thoughts, Well, so like, dancing is for me super free, and I don't know the goal. I just know that I want to do it, and I enjoy everything that I do. But when it comes to voice acting, and I want to have it as a profession, that means I get paid of it, and I want to have everything as a profession if it goes well. But it means you get paid for it, and so it means you have responsibility, right? So if I get booked as a voice actor and have to step into the booth, I just make my job very good, hopefully, so that you guys can be entertained. You're going to watch the series that I spoke, like the animes or whatever I did recently, and you're going to see it, and you're going to enjoy. And there again, we take your time to be entertained and to get also like a message through this, because it's storytelling. Like, everything is almost storytelling, like really everything. You will learn from it. You will feel a certain kind of way about it. You will be just purely entertained and forget everything around you. I don't know where my personal goal is. I want to be better in everything that I do. This is what I strive for sure. So there will probably never be an end. And I also want to be more satisfied with my art, but this is probably more like a decision than something that just pops up if you did something creative, if you created something nice, I don't know. But please, guys, if you're an artist as well, and you have a really nice and clear vision about what you want to do, then tell me. And I want you to be aware that if you use the term "I use art to inspire others," please think about if I didn't mention it before, what it could mean to inspire others, because a lot of people say that, and they just say it like as a cliche, just to say something. I feel, like, why do you want to start YouTube? Yeah, because I want to inspire people. Like, what does that mean? What is the actual goal you want to have? Like, I want to be very clear with that, and I am not for myself. But if you are, and you can really tell me what it is that you want the guys to get inspired of, or please let me know. It can help me to be a better artist as well, I guess. And that's the whole topic. I don't want to run in circles no more here in this podcast. So I hope you guys liked this as well. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for holding on with this weird accent I have. I know it's hard to listen, but I hope you understand just everything. And this was my phone. Yes, it's super live, man. I won't cut it out. So this was episode 4. Thank you guys for listening once again. And the next episode 5 is gonna be finally about the topic biting. This is probably the topic a lot of people in my friend list and everybody is curious about what I think about it. I will let you guys know in the next episode. But till then, be naive, but stay humble. Peace. Naive Humbleness Podcast with Christian No Index Ola. Welcome everybody to the 5th edition of the NH Podcasts. With today's topic, it's finally arrived, biting. So what I do think is biting and what I think about it in general. For the people who listen and they don't know what the term biting means, in hip-hop it means that you steal someone's style, idea, or whatever. Like you just steal from an artist in general, and you're also an artist, right? And then also the worst thing is you label it as your own. That's like a no go, because I'm a biter too. Like I do stuff and I know that I bit them. But then I ask the originators sometimes if I can use it, right? I asked Palmer and Moore for some movements, and they agreed, they were okay with that. But in episode 0, I was talking that biting made me a very discreet artist. And the reason is I was really like a young b-boy, and I still struggle with that decision today, that I chose to be like, the real deal, like the real b-boy, and that I care about not to bite, and I shouldn't be biting. I have to find my own style, and I should be original. This has still some truth in it. Like I don't want to bite, but if you think about it, in our breaking scene, without biting, there wouldn't be the basics we have today, right? Because boundaries were broken, for example, the windmill, and then people saw it and was like, if you think about it, a windmill is an amazing movement for a human being, or a headspin or whatever, right? And then people were like curious, because that's how people are, and they want to learn it themselves. And then they have the opportunity to make it better, right? And also, if they bit it, they found style within this move on their own, right? Because my headspin doesn't look like my crewmate's headspin. It looks different because I have my own original form in it. And that's where I want to go now, because I really believe nowadays that biting transitions or moves is like a really, really tiny, small crime that you should be okay to overlook. Because I was curious on how airflare felt, or critical. LA Breakers, the move critical, this turtle freeze, push up to elbow to back to turtle. I was curious, and it feels so nice, and I do it. So biting moves should be okay and shouldn't be no more such a big deal. There's always the challenge between human beings and who can do it better, and then there could be also the thing who does it more stylish. But what's really like a big no-go is, and what's also like super stupid to do because you will never be able to do it correctly, is try to buy style, or in other words, originality. You just can't bite originality, you can't bite style. And here I give you a very good example on why it can't be. First of all, listen to the track of Nate Dogg and Warren G. Nobody does it better. They can come closer than close, but original they never will be. And this is just so true. Here is an example out of voice acting. My voice acting coach is the German established voice of Samuel L. Jackson. But for the movie Django, they wanted to do a casting. And as I said, he was the established voice actor for him for already like 2 decades or something, but they still invited some other voice actors, and of course him, to prove their skill and who comes closer to the original Samuel L. Jackson voice, on how he, like his melody is, how his emotions, how, just like his style of talking is. And my voice acting coach won. But how do they do that? They record like the voice, and then you have this audio waves in the program, and you have the original, and right under that you have the German voice actors thing. And they don't, of course, speak English, but they speak in German, and they just try to find the tones or what is similar. And so they compare it to each other, and the best imitator, because that's exactly what you do, you imitate a little bit, wins. But if you go super, super micro and super deep into the audio wave, you will see you just can't copy. It's not possible. Samuel L. Jackson has his own original voice. And even any imitator can't beat that. Everybody has his own way of talking. Everybody has his own way of walking. Everybody has his own way of dancing. His own body language. So if you figure, or like, if you consider, like, I will slap you just for that thought that you consider of biting a style, you just can't. Like, you can't. It's not gonna feel authentic. So don't even try, man. And that's for me the big no-go. This is just not okay. But I understand, right? I understand that it's because people are curious. that it's like, wow, I want to dance like him, like he's so amazing, that we're fans of each other and we want to learn from each other, and sometimes we want to dance like a different person. And I used to dance like Moy, but before I went to Texas, I made sure that I shouldn't dance like Moy no more, because then there would be no exchange. And there is this sentence in hip-hop: everybody should bring something new to the table in here. And the best thing you can offer is yourself, because it's beautiful. We're still growing, and biting brought us so much further, I guess. I think, because yeah, it did, because a lot of people do other people's moves nowadays, and we seem to be okay with that. You know, so this whole biting movement is okay, if you want to say it like that. But like whole body language, stealing it, that's a crime. And yeah, with this said, I will end this topic right here. I hope you understood, that my grammar wasn't too bad and you could follow along. Yeah, the next episode 6, is gonna be called Civil Courage to Yourself, How to Find Style. I try to go into advice on how to know your own originality, to know yourself. This is gonna be a challenge again, just like this topic and the topic before we had. But you know, this ain't easy. Finding yourself, it ain't easy. So yes. But anyways, thank you guys for listening. And be naive, but stay humble. Peace. Naive Humbleness Podcast with Christian No Index Ola. Welcome to the 6th podcast of the NH Podcasts, with today's topic: Civil Courage to Yourself, How to Find Style. Yeah, this was my voice acting, one of my voice acting voices. I'm in a good mood right now, so I will just let it out. So before we start, I really recommend for you guys, in order to understand of what I will tell you now, that you check out, if you haven't already, the NH podcast number 3, where I talk about how I separate originality and creativity and where I want to be. And this is the transition between those two things, because it's the part where you don't have to explain too much about who you are or what you created, because it could be obvious for some people, but also not obvious for other people, but it's not too complex to explain. So let's start on how to find style. There is no secret about it. How to find style, it means like more like how to find yourself. And you need to be self-aware to do that. There's a lot of ways to do this. I do it all the time with playing the why game. And what I mean by that is just take something that you like. I take now basketball. This is my favorite sport. And I would ask myself, why do I like basketball? And I would say, this is a team sport. I really enjoy it. And just the feeling of, making a basket is amazing. And then like, why do I like this? I was like, I don't know. And then there's also, it's just fun, and it just showed that I have super skill. And if you even hit a basket without touching the ring, and you just hear the net like swish, this is amazing. This is the best feeling and the best noise in the world. And then I would ask myself, but why? And I have no answer for that. It just makes me feel a certain kind of way. I feel joy, and I could challenge myself in there. And then I could ask again, why? So you see, you can ask yourself so many times why that you won't have a clear answer, or you will start to run in circles. So it will over and over start again, and you will run in circles, right? And you have to be okay with that. First of all, be okay that you don't have for everything an answer. I used to be a guy who wanted to have all the answers, but unfortunately, we won't get them. If we dig too deep, we will get to the very first question. That's how did the universe started, why we are here, right? If you want to go that deep. So that's something that I recommend. Play the why game and be okay with the outcome, right? You can be shocked about yourself, you can be satisfied with yourself. But then also, I see it like this on how to find style or how to find yourself. So let's take it into a picture, and you want to be as close, like become yourself, right? And you want to get as close to the core as possible. This is your goal, right? But I recommend don't don't think that you found it already, because that means that it could be a still standing fact, and you will for the rest of your life tell you that, oh, this is who I am, and you won't give yourself room to grow or to change or to challenge yourself. I just remember a crewmate said years ago, he was way younger, right? You just see it throughout your life that you're changing your explanations or thoughts or behaviors, right? And that's good. This has to be done. I remember my crewmate said, like, I don't need a driver license. I will forever ride a train. And now he has a driver license and drives me to practice all the time almost. So it's just funny how things go. But you have to be okay with that. So don't go too deep and don't believe that you find the inner core. Get as close as possible, but let it move, let it flow. But always try to have it on this happiness line. Like, try to be happy, try to get your inner core into a place where you can be happy, right? So this is what I mean by self-aware, and this is some things you can think about. But now let's go to the interesting part of the headline, which is civil courage to yourself, which has a little bit to do with the why game, the why questioning. Let me explain it like this. In my crews, Gimakino and Break to Beat, I am more this type of weirdo guy. Like honestly, everybody in my crew has something funny to say about me, or like weird to say about me, which is really like, I like the German word of weird because it's called merkwürdig, and that it more means like noticeable, right? So you don't say this dude is strange, but like he's noticeable. And this is more like I see it more like as an compliment, because it means you're standing out. And so everybody in my crew is playing jokes on me that I'm a die-hard Oddworld Inhabitants fan, because I just love the universe and how the creatures are created and the storyline and and the voice acting in the game. It's just like super amazing to me. And so I'm a die-hard fan. I've bought pullovers, I have a necklace, I have a wristband. Like, I'm a die-hard fan, and they just think like the fashion of it is just pure bullshit, and then make always fun of me of that, or that I like Ren and Stimpy. Few of those crewmates don't understand this, and I don't understand why I do certain kind of things the way I do it, right? This is like close to mobbing. I know they don't mean it like to hurt me. They just mean it to, bring it up and make fun of me, because they know I can laugh about this too, because I am okay with that, right? And I also stand up for myself, because if they would curse about me because I love Oddworlds, I would just stand up for myself and say like, well, so I like it, I love it. And so this is what I mean with civil courage to yourself. You have to stand up for yourself and be okay that you can be strange, and this is, I'm not saying this is the position where you aim to get, but just listen, right? Because I did the mistake when I was younger. I was like anti-mainstream, and I don't want it to have anything which is mainstream. I'm like so original, blah blah blah, and I'm so unique. But liking something that someone else likes is just good, right? Because mainstream is not a bad thing. Don't think that mainstream is a bad thing. It is a beautiful thing, because we can socialize and we unite. Because let's keep it to the breaking scene. Well, I break, and so do a lot of other million people on the planet. It doesn't make it mainstream, but there's some mainstream moves, and if you just enjoy it, just do it. I see myself as a different person at that time, because civil courage, it from like the real civil courage, where like something bad happens to a person on the street, and you can really, well, let me read the Wikipedia thing, what they say about it. It says, civil courage is a type of courage related closely to heroism, in which a person acts bravely to intervene in a social situation, right? So just be this guy who is doing heroism to yourself and is bravely intervening in a social situation. I hope you understand this. I would just like, it's super hard to read and to explain at the same time for me, because this is not in my language. But yeah, stand just up for what you like. Be okay that you can't explain. Just listen to your feelings and emotions. And that's pretty much it. Have civil courage to yourself. Also with the whole naive humbleness movement I am doing for myself, I stand up for myself for being more naive and less discreet as I am, or as I was, right? Like, I want to be more naive. I'm standing up for this. And if I, fall flat onto my face and fail super bad, at least I won't regret it. So stand up for yourself, and you will see things change. You know, you will see that your thought process could change, and really try to analyze yourself on what you like and what you don't like. Figure out why you don't like it. Figure out why you like it. Figure out why you disagree with a person you're having a discussion with, or why you agree with a person. So really ask questions about yourself and go deep and spend time alone. You need this to find style or to be self-aware. This is nothing new, I just said it in a weird way. There's again the word weird, but on how I would explain this. So have civil courage to yourself and you will find style, I promise. But there also has to be like patience. Give things time and they will grow, and just follow your path. Follow your path. That's it, man. I hope you guys understood. I hope it could help some of you. And if it did, man, I'm glad that you listened to till here. And yeah, that's everything I wanted to tell. Thank you guys for listening, and tune in for the next episode 7, where I will talk about failures and why they are good and why you should have them. And it has something to do with, civil courage to yourself as well. So probably you just making it up on your head right now. But if you don't, listen to the next episode. But till then, be naive, but stay humble. Peace.